Hello everybody and welcome to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and realize you are creative abundance. There is a joy of settling down deeply into something. Anne Lamott writes in her book Stitches, which I'm currently reading. I found this on page 22 and I really wanted to share it with you because it reminds me really of what we're pursuing in our practice is not necessarily product or awards or publication even, but this deep settling down and the joy that comes from settling into something that we're pursuing, settling in with something that we are creating, that this is the fulfillment of the practice of being an artist, of being a writer. And this is what I'm recommending in this video, is that we bring to our writing practice this idea of settling down into it, which means we need to settle deeply into ourselves. And this, then, as I mentioned, is part of the practice that we are cultivating, this settling in deeply, settling deeply. When we write, we encounter worlds, music, images, memories, emotions, right? The past, our projections of the future. This is all within us. And we engage these, or at least that is the goal. The goal is to engage with them, to bring them to life on the page, to translate what is in us, what we are discovering, to translate that and to put that same energy that we're feeling into that translation, onto the page, into language. But this is hard. It can be hard work. And it can be really hard just to settle in with ourselves. And in addition, with all of this that is within us. So the first thing is to be able to settle in and be quiet within ourselves, to be able to take a seat long enough, to be still long enough, to listen long enough and deeply enough that we can begin to see deeply and feel deeply, and then to translate what it is we are seeing. It takes a long time. It can take a long time to sit and just be with all of the stirrings within us, to translate these things onto the page. And that is the practice, this practice of just sitting with all of this vastness that we are, and to be able to make language with it, to be able to write a story about it. It's not easy. We can get quite jumpy, in fact, and evasive and resistant and frustrated, and we can let ourselves be distracted then, because who wants to sit with all of that? Who wants to sit and feel all of that? But that is the practice, to stay. And this is where we really find the juice, the energy, the joy, the fulfillment of our work in that sitting. I think if we can just get through that surface, that superficial part that when we first start to sit starts to feel very restive. If we can just get through that surface, we can sink down deep. And really that is when the work starts to work through us. When you love something, it surrounds you with a sense of connection to something greater. Lamott continues as she writes. This is the next page. When you love something, it surrounds you with a sense of connection to something greater. If you're lucky enough, she continues, then your search for meaning involves whatever that something is. It's focus that takes you to a place as close as you ever come to home. I've always felt at home in writing. Writing was my go-to. At least it's what I thought about when I had free time. It's what I thought about when I was inspired. It's what I wanted to do when I was pierced by an experience, by a memory, by emotion. I'd think, I need to write this. It was a way, I think, that I felt like I could be with that experience a bit longer, to live with it, to live it out, to live it more fully. But unfortunately, I didn't always write. In fact, I'd turn away because I, like a lot of people, was filled with self-doubt. I wanted so badly to write something good that it paralyzed me, that I didn't even start. I'd think about it, I'd want to do it, then that energy would pass and I wouldn't have put anything on the page. Or maybe I would just jot something down, dash it off, but I wouldn't really sit with it, settle in like I'm talking about, like Anne Lamott is talking about, really settle in deeply with it and let it mature and let myself grow with it. But I was like those restless or restive, I guess, restive souls that Mary Oliver spoke of. I was restive and frustrated, and what stopped me from writing was just my fears, my self-doubt, my self-criticism, my judgments, my lack of practice really of sitting with myself and letting these things that I was feeling and sensing, experiencing, writing about, letting them mature with me, befriending them, letting them open up. So despite feeling very at home when I wrote, I attached so much self-importance to the writing, so much pressure to this that I didn't write. And that went on for years. And it went on until I devoted myself to writing. And then that practice of just coming to the page daily, I discovered in doing that this joy that I had never experienced before, the joy of just being with myself, being with the images, the material, the music, the memories, the feelings within me, being with these, attending to these, settling in deeply with all of this, and writing, simply writing, not to make a product out of it, not to win awards, not to be published, not to do anything, but to be with it that day. And it took me decades to get to that point, to that discovery, which honestly, if I'm being honest, which I am, I'm still learning this and I'm still practicing it. It is still a practice for me to just put aside all of the chatter, all of the judgment, all of the doubt, the fear that I won't be able to do it, or whatever it is, and just settle in. Get through that surface. And I think when we first sit down, we have energy, we bring all of this other stuff to the page, we bring what's been going on in our day. It takes a little bit of time to settle in. We have to warm up a little. We have to get comfortable. And we just quiet down. And then we can begin to write from here. So settling in, being with ourselves, being patient, letting the words slowly come, letting things just because maybe they're shy. I like to think of it that way. The things in us, maybe these images, these memories, the things we want to write about, they don't reveal themselves immediately. Maybe they're just a little shy and they need us just to be still and be quiet and be with them long enough that we begin to hear them. And then they come forward, they come out of the shadows, and we are able to be with them. Because it is all here in us. All of us has a universe in us, universes in us. We have the infinite. And our material is we just have tons. We just have to give ourselves a chance. And then the boundless, expansive space and time opens up in us. And it's everywhere. We have rich material at our fingertips. And this is the joy. This is the joy. This settling down deeply with whatever it is that we have. We spend time with it. Spend time with ourselves. We spend time with the story. We spend time with the poem. We spend time with the words. And slowly this work opens to us. It reveals more and more. And all we have to do is stay attentive. To stay attentive. To settle. Not be impatient. Not rush. Just be. Let it come. I often sing the rest of the day after I write. And this is how I know that I've allowed that settling to happen, because I I sing. I feel so at home. I just need to sing and keep expressing that I have that flow of energy, that channel going. So I invite you to let this settling down be part of your writing practice, that you make that your writing practice. Just not having the expectations, not putting any pressure on yourself. Just settle into whatever time you're devoting to the writing, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is. Not worrying about page count, word count, not worrying about a product. Just practice settling down with yourself, getting quiet, and letting these things in you, the words, the language, the music, start to emerge. Letting these great worlds within you start to reveal themselves. Attend to writing then not to produce the product or to write a certain number of words, but as a practice of settling, of being present with yourself and the something in you, which only you can name. Being present with that something in you, which only you can name and only you can write about. This practice, this being, settling in, will sustain you. You'll return to your writing for the joy and the satisfaction of settling down and creating, and for the fulfillment of feeling at home. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad that you tuned in. I hope that it helps you write. Please remember to like this video and share it with a person in your life who could use it, if you feel like it would be valuable to them. Also, please subscribe. I'd love to be able to continue to share these tips on writing with you and how to cultivate your writing practice. And also, if you'd like to find out about upcoming Devotion to Writing workshops or retreats that I lead, you can visit devotiontowriting.com and follow Devotion to Writing on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again for watching. I hope that you write deeply today. I know that if you do write, you'll write beautifully, because beauty is what you are. Blessings.